They say the hardest role you will ever play is yourself.
Hey, guys, we're here at the Pink Square Circle. We'll talk about why Timeless Toni Storm is saving AEW. She's the savior of the AEW women's division. Get the likes of as we come into the Pink Square Circle. We're going to talk about it. Now, we know Toni Storm, she's been doing her thing at AEW since she arrived in March of 2022. And she's become a 3-time AEW Women's World Champion. Now, Toni, she is currently going to challenge Mariah May for the AEW Women's World Champion at Grand Slam Australia, February 15th. They had a great face-to-face conversation. Mariah May, who's currently AEW Women's World Champion, she has held on to this championship since AEW's big event All In, when she did defeat Toni Storm for this title. So she's been hold down the title since August of last year. But Toni Storm, she is a great character. She always evolves as character. She first had the character of her original character. Then she later on was in the Outcast stable with herself, Ruby Soho, and Saraya. That was a good stable. Now, when that stable was starting to die down, mostly, unlike most of Tony Khan's stables, they tend to stay together forever. And I'm referring to the stables of former WWE talent. She took it to a whole nother level when she went on to become Timeless Toni Storm. She was over. The crowd loved her. She was making buzz on Collision, Dynamite, and she later regained and won for the third time the AEW Women's World Championship. Now, she had lost the title to Mariah. Mariah started off, she was, her child, as she called her, pretty much under Toni Storm's wing, and she built her up. And the thing about Toni Storm is always evolving as a character. And we saw that when she went back to Timeless Toni Storm at Collision, when she returned to the character Timeless Toni Storm. Now, this was at the homecoming for Collision. This is right before their match. And when Mariah May slapped Toni Storm and tried to embarrass her, hit her with the belt multiple times, Toni Storm just went off.
Oh, my God.
What makes you think our dance is done?
No. Yes.
Each scar, every drop of blood, I will feel forever. But now, it's my moment in the sun.
Timeless Toni Storm, she's back. She's unhinged more than ever. It's like after losing the title, she had disappeared, and she wouldn't appear on AEW television again for almost 4 months. Now, she was in Japan doing other work, but when she came back, she was a plain old Toni Storm. She didn't have all the extra stuff. We're so used to the Marilyn Monroe-inspired character, and earned so much acclaim. Over the following weeks, the rookie Toni Storm, she looked to make her mark in the promotion of AEW. She eventually had won the right to face Mariah May for the women's title when she won the gauntlet match, the first women's gauntlet match that was on Dynamite. Now, in the face-to-face collision, Mariah May, before she attacked her, she attacked Toni Storm on the microphone. She said that, she was an embarrassment. She was pathetic. Like, she basically told Toni Storm she used her. But, Toni came back saying she was the biggest fan. And before that, she knew that when she was attacked by Mariah, she had to revert back to Timeless Toni Storm. And her character kind of reminds me of Mick Foley when he was Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind. And when she does that, she does it so well as a character. But the point I make with Toni Storm is she don't just only elevate the title and Mariah May. She elevates the whole division. Now, we could talk about in division how, Mariah May is help elevating the women's division, but she's not. She's not elevating the division. Neither is Mercedes Moné as the TBS champion. When it comes to AEW, Toni Storm is AEW as far as the women go. She always puts on a good match. She always has a great story, and she always puts over her opponent, whether they win or lose. She always puts them on the map. She's a great seller. She's a great character. Overall, great. And I don't see anyone AEW right now that is topping Toni Storm when it comes to overall putting over stars and elevating the whole division. Now, that episode of Collision where Toni Storm returned to Timeless Toni Storm after being attacked verbally and physically by Mariah May, that helped gain a lot of viewership. Now, that was hard to do on a Saturday night for one, and also that was the same night as WWE's Saturday night's main event, which was a good turnout as well. But I would like to say that Toni Storm, she definitely came a long way for being an NXT UK all the way to being embarrassed on the main roster on SmackDown back in 2021. Ever since she came to AEW, she has been moving the needle for the women's division. Now, when it comes to women's division, we could talk about Britt Baker. We could talk about Thunder Rosa. We could talk about Hikaru Shida. But when I think of the AEW women's division, the one who's been the most consistent and able to put on great matches and great storytelling is no other than Toni Storm. And Toni Storm, more than likely, I see her winning the AEW Women's Championship at the Grand Slam TV event. And I see her making records again. She's already tied with Hikaru Shida for the 3-time AEW Women's Champion. They're both tied right now. If she was to go on and regain the title from Mariah May, that will make her a record-setting 4-time AEW Women's Champion. Toni Storm is doing her thing. She's continuing to do her thing. After she had lost the title at AEW All In last August to Mariah May, we thought that was it of Toni. We thought that Toni was done. She will go down the card, go down the mid-card, maybe compete for the TBS championship. But Toni just took some time off, and she revertedly come back up. She started with the rookie Toni Storm. Hi, my name's Toni Storm. Nice to meet you, shaking hands. And she reverted back to the character that we all know and love as Timeless Toni Storm. There's no other character like her. I love how she always has great promos. I like her character, everything. Oh, got the black and white screen. It's great. And it's unique. And it's something that Tony Khan and AEW have a real gem to. Toni Storm is a real gem, and I hope Tony Khan knows that, because you don't see characters like Toni Storm every day. You don't see someone that's able to evolve time and time and time again like Toni Storm's been doing, and she's doing exactly just that. And I have to give her a prop. She is the AEW Women's Division. So I would not be surprised if she wins this title. Now, I know initially AEW, they were starting to, get good with the women's division, and it went down. But Toni Storm is helped regaining prominence, not only to the division, but especially the AEW women's title. Let's be honest, Mariah May is not the best AEW women's champion. And we all know, if you do follow AEW, that one for Toni Storm evolving and putting Mariah May on, she would have won that championship and have it right now, especially how quickly she got it within a year after debuting on AEW television. So Toni, we got to give her props. She needs more credit. If she don't get enough credit enough, she's a hard worker. I'm pretty sure if WWE had did things, differently, we probably still would have her, but it came down to her and I want to say Rhea Ripley, another woman that came up in NXT UK at the time. And maybe, who knows, maybe Rhea Ripley would have wound up at AEW if AEW have her, and Toni would be in WWE had things been done differently with storyline. You never know. You have to think about it, because she's one of great women. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. And I would like to say, not only AEW has Toni, I hope they continue to sign her and do not lose her ever, because Toni Storm, she's great at media scrum. She speaks well. She's always been a great champion. I never really seen a horrible, like the worst in her title run since she held it 3 times. She's pretty much been consistent with her title runs. Some may not have been as good as others, but as a whole, she probably, I would say, the best AEW Women's Champion. Better than Hikaru Shida, better than Thunder Rosa, better than Britt Baker, better than Riho, better than all of them. I can't see nobody topping Toni Storm in what she's doing because it's very hard to revert to a character and make it work. Then do it another character and make it work. And then put your opponents over as well. Toni's doing all of that very, very well, and she has no problem doing it. But now it's time for Toni Storm to regain the AEW Women's Championship. Mariah May had her time. She's held on to the belt, I want to say, going on 6 months now. Now, has Mariah elevated anybody during her whole championship run as AEW Women's Champion? I would say no. All she did was bring them down. Everybody that she's faced. She's faced Anna Jay. I think she faced Anna Jay. I know she faced other women. All the women she faced for that title hasn't done anything for that title. Hasn't brought no value. Hasn't done anything of prominence. She's actually brought the value of the title down. And I know when Toni Storm does regain that title in February 15th, I know she's going to bring it right back to where she left off with it when she had it. And then I know whoever the star to come after Mariah May to challenge her when she does regain the title, she's going to elevate them as well. AEW, they have something good going to AEW for the women's division. There's a lot of talent in that division. Not just Mariah and Toni that's in the division. You have Hikaru Shida. You have Anna Jay. You have Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Jamie Hayter. You have now Megan Bain. You have a lot of women that could really be elevated and could be potential challengers for the AEW Women's Championship at some point. Maybe sooner than later, or maybe later than sooner. So it's all come down to how to book the champions, how to book the women in division, because one person cannot do it all. Unfortunately, the booking has to be done right, and they have to book the women in the right direction, because I know if they don't do that, that's going to lead to people being disgruntled, being unhappy, and also wanting to leave AEW, because let's be honest, despite Toni Storm making a buzz on Collision, there are women in AEW who are very, very unhappy at this moment about how the booking, how creative's being done, and they want to be used and utilized more and be on TV, and how they should be used as a character and maybe get some more screen time, anything you could think of. They have to do that properly, and I believe they'll do that. It'll be a huge success as a whole. I think it'll work, but it only comes down to that. And I hope that's the whole thing behind it. I hope it works. I really hope it's going. But if they don't do that, AEW going to be in trouble. Unfortunately, they're going to be in trouble. And they have to do the right thing. But that's all I have regarding why Timeless Toni Storm is saving AEW, the savior of the AEW Women's Division. You guys let me know what you think of that. Soon to videos will pop up, guys. Until then, I'll see you guys later.